and Serena's going to do her editing magic. She's the editing fairy. I was just going to do this too.
It's like we're always like, oh, jazz fingers. Was this like spirit fingers, jazz hands, jazz hands?
Spirit fingers.
Can you do them both at the same time, like spirit fingers?
Probably not. I don't know. Hold on.
I feel like
I've been snapping and not.
Oh, I like the snaps.
Oh, yes.
April is National Poetry Month, so we're getting our snaps ready.
I love
The
it.
beret. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, dude, Juliana and I have poems at the at Fairfield Hills. So if you pass them, yeah, you'll be able to see.
I didn't know they were
awesome.
doing like a thing for that.
Yeah, the library
fun.
does it every year, and then they take a collection of all the poetry and they put it, like they bind it into a book, and it's, I think, 4 books, and it sits at the library. Yeah, it's really cool. And so I was telling Juliana, like, we are now published poets, Juliana.
Put in the pinkies out. Like
Yes,
Yeah.
published poets.
Right.
Well, welcome, everyone. Jinx, Serena. Welcome to the Then When podcast. I'm your host, Mary, and
I'm your host, Serena. So welcome, everybody, to this episode. We're really excited to introduce you to one of Mary's very, endeared individuals in her neighborhood up in her way. So I'll let you kick it over, Mary.
Thank you. I am so excited to have a very good friend of mine, Sara, on the podcast today. She is, what's up? She is so fun and such a delight and has the embodiment of the Then When spirit. And she is just a wonderful human. I'm so glad to know you, Sara. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today.
Thank you for your kind words. Great to be here.
Oh, yeah. They're all true. I never lie.
Well, we need to hear how this all started, like how you met. I mean, and just Sara, a little bit about your background and just kind of introduce yourself to our crowd here.
So I started out as a language arts teacher about 20 years ago and loved that and loved talking about books. But my heart was in the library. So I went back to school. I thought, no better time than now, and have been in an elementary library and now an intermediate library for a bit. And Mary and I met through both our youngest. When they were in kindergarten, and since then really enjoyed each other's company and bouncing ideas off each other.
Yes. Yeah. We met through our kids, and how lucky were we that's how that happened for us.
Yep.
Yeah. And Sara is like my book nerd friend, which I so love having a book nerd friend because I'm a book nerd. And so I just finished a book the other day and I texted her. I was like, have you read this book? It's so good. And guess what? She had already. Yeah.
Okay.
She was like, old news, Mary. No, I'm kidding. She wasn't. She was so kind about it.
It's a good
but
one.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah, it was a great, it was called The Wedding People. It was a really great story of
link in show notes. Yeah.
Yes, link in the show notes,
we
as
do
I
that
always
a lot,
say.
Sarah, it's whenever we promote something that we're not actually affiliated with, we're we'll just go ahead and toss a little love their way. So
Yeah.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been, and then since Sara and I have been friends, we have been just we hang out at different events. Like yesterday we were selling Girl Scout cookies together. But also we've done a lot of really cool stuff too. And Sara's my friend that's like, hey, I heard of this class and I'd love to try it. Do you want to try it with me? And it's like, yes, I would.
Ooh,
yeah.
We all need a Sara, yeah. So, just to pump it up and go, hey, I've got my finger on the pulse of some fun things, so let's go do it together. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what I wanted to dive into a little bit. You are, to me, you're the kind of person who, like I said before, you find something interesting and then you just kind of go for it, whether you know about it or not. And I think that barrier stops me sometimes from doing things because it's oh, this sounds really cool, but am I going to really have the time for this? Or, I need to learn X, Y, and Z about it. And I feel like you're the kind of person that's like, yeah, I'll look into this and then I'm going to dive right in. What gets you there?
I think I want to just experience all that I can and not let certain things be barriers. Like right now, we're in the throes of raising kids, but I don't want, like, with raising kids, I want them to recognize that I was a woman who had goals and had interests and knew how to pursue them. And so I'm trying to teach them all along that, like, life keeps going despite a job or being in high school and doing applications or, whatever you're going through. And that it's really important to, you think it's an additive, but it's actually like really the enhancement of your life. And you got to be sure to have those things in there to make the everyday meaningful.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm gonna
Yeah.
So,
cry almost. That was so beautiful.
oh,
That was
thank you.
so well put. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's that a lot of people like align to a certain identity when those big major life changes happen. So it's beautiful to hear that you're still going, "Hey, no, I'm still holding on to this element of fulfilling myself and filling my cup because it's not just about me being, this or that. It is like it's a
right.
whole embodiment of where, all those little bits fill your whole soul, kind of situation. So that's so beautifully put. So I was just over
Thank you.
here giving you the little quiet snap. So, but
Snaps.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that can be true for anyone, right? Like even if you if you have a career you're focused on or something, if you're a caretaker of others, whatever that looks like, that can be all encompassing. I'll just speak for myself, I guess. I find that sometimes it's easy to get swallowed up by these roles that I play and forget about oh yeah, I have interests and I'm a human being too, other than like the little stuff that I'm able to do, right? Like work on a puzzle here and there or read a book and these little take a walk, those are little things that I like to do. But I need to remind myself, like, before I get to that end point of am I just existing or am I living? Before I get there, I need to incorporate a little more of Sarah into my life and just do stuff for the sake of like curiosity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so much to teach and learn, and I learn a lot from my colleagues because I think we got out of COVID and we realized, like, well, if we don't take care of ourselves, I don't know what. And so we all figured out gifts we could kind of give each other, talents that we already had that would be natural that we could incorporate in the week. And so, like, lovely Teresa, our orchestra leader, on Wednesday mornings we have a teacher orchestra and we get together and it was like, what do you have at home? And like my daughter had abandoned the violin. I was like, I'll try that. And we all just like came with instruments and we're like, all right, what do you think you could do with us? And then another teacher is learning how to, she's yoga certified. So Friday mornings we put like a big poster on the window door so no kids can see in, until homeroom, and we do some yoga. And so we all kind of found ways we could give back to each other and build each other up in, a community that you can get lost in.
Yeah.
That's the absolute essence of what we're aiming and our goal is with Then When is very much that it's taking the people. A lot of people will sit back and like it, especially in this day and age when everybody has a podcast or has some kind of social media presence, right? And they feel like, oh well, this person becomes untouchable or this becomes like a celebrity aspect of things, right? But that is like really the embodiment of it is what you just discussed, is that you have these just absolutely delightfully talented people that are in your community, like within arms like length of each other, that you can bring those curiosities together and learn from each other. And that is a beautiful thing that like you guys had taken something that was having this isolation aspect of COVID and then bringing it together into this community where you could really nourish each other through it. So that is brilliant and gorgeous. And I am so excited that you guys have created that. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so nice. If I worked anywhere, I would totally work where Sarah works. It is like such a
Yeah,
beautiful community. They have all, like, literally I feel like, and this is my outsider's opinion, but I really feel like everyone that works there pitches in to create this beautiful community. It's not just like, the top people
absolutely.
being like, we're doing this to create a sense of community, which, sometimes is how things go. No, it's like everybody pitches in. And it's funny because one of my kids goes to her school and she'll come home and she'll be like, Mom, everybody or the all the adults are doing this thing where they are leaving post-it notes of like nice a compliment for each other and stuff like that, and the kids get like this is trickling down to the kids, like Sarah was saying, like it's a beautiful model of a different way to be when a lot of times, especially kids can get sucked into the way they think things are based off of what they're seeing, online or, wherever they are. And so it's just so nice that like kindness does spread. In one of our episodes, I talked about that book, the oh gosh, now it's escaping me.
Little book of joy.
The little bit of joy.
Little book of joy.
No, what's that book called? It's not called
It's
the little book of joy.
book of
That's what
joy.
it's called. And I love
We
it
should have had
because
Sarah answer it because she's got like the whole like catalog of books probably stacked in her head. So.
well, I'm sure she's seen this book, and if you haven't, I'll bring you my copy and we could look at it. It's like it's just that joy is depicted with little rainbows, and I love rainbows so much. And it's like shows how like, your joy that you give out spreads to somebody else, and it just keeps going and going, And I can totally see that in action in your community, in your school community, and it's just really lovely. And what I love about that is just like everybody brings their strengths to the table, right? And
Right.
I feel like that really fosters curiosity, especially like learning an
Right.
instrument. Oof, that's good for you guys.
Yeah, we sound really bad sometimes,
Oh,
but
no.
oh my gosh, it is so fun because we all it's a like-minded goal. None of us knew what
Yeah.
we were doing to start with, so we're doing it together and no judgment, so it's very fun.
Very important for that, no judgment. Yeah, because I was about to say you are starting something. You're jumping in. You're learning something new. Are you?
Right.
Were you expecting to be like at least like accelerated or a little bit more on the perfect side of it, or were you kind of just accepting, hey, I'm gonna just be a complete like novice at this, when I go in or amateur. So like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with the acceptance of what I say is like sucking at something new? So.
Oh, I encourage that because I feel like that's so much of life. Like, in the last 2 years, a student came to me and wanted me to run. You need an advisor to run a club. So a student came to me and said, "Could we do a Dungeons and Dragons club?" And I thought, well, I know nothing of that, but I hear it's getting big. I really respect my principal, like my boss, because he just loves truth. And so in my proposal with this student, I was like, I know very little. And I'm telling you right now, but there's joy. People are finding joy in this game. And so I will try my best to get the materials they need and to like educate myself a bit. But basically, would you give us this carte blanche to like explore? And hopefully I do all right in it. And he was like, yep, do the club. And first, I was like, oh, I wonder if people will sign up. We usually take 20 kids, but the library's big, and I didn't want to turn anyone away. I think we had 34 the first round of things, but like they can spread out. And I didn't know what I was doing, but like I told them what I knew, and they were like, all right, Mrs. Wasley, we'll keep going. We'll learn more. We'll come back and tell you what we learn. And they did. And we've run it and so we just started like this spring session. So my third time running it, kids are coming in. They have created a community. So they're like gaming on the weekend and then coming in to like, oh, this is what I did this weekend. We're adding to our campaign. And like, it's far greater than I could have ever. I had to buy them books and some dice,
Yep.
But I was honest because I've gotten in that, not in trouble, but I've gotten in that awkward thing where you pretend to be an expert of something and now it's uncomfortable because you don't know what so I just now at the ripe age that I'm at, I'm just gonna be honest, like I don't know. So this year kids wanted to start a podcasting club and I was like, all right, well, you're gonna do your own? And they were like, yeah. And we got into it and it's been awesome, but again, my proposal was like, don't know much, let's
Yeah,
see. I hope you're okay with that. And they were, and the outcome's been awesome. So I
that's
appreciate
incredible.
I appreciate having leaders who are supportive like that. Like, okay,
Yeah,
Totally.
that's truly, yeah, sorry.
like your heart's in the right place. We'll get there.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I want to know though, like, have the kids talked you into rolling a character yet for D&D? Like, are you?
Well, I start creating them all the time and they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Wasley, this one would never." So then I'm like, I'll just walk around. I feel like I don't have the confidence yet. I love watching them play because they're full on. And their campaigns are awesome. But no, I
Mm.
just facilitate right now.
That's beautiful that you're giving them a safe place to do that. Like you're giving that
Yeah.
encouragement and area for them to be creative and be fantastical and just embrace like something that's bigger than themselves, and especially with the community aspect of it. It's like just a fantastic way. A lot of people I've known like in the past they still have their D&D friends. Like they just like it's their little subgroup of little adventurers,
Right.
and people who build like they're storytellers, and it's just
Hmm.
wonderful to see when those sparks start flying and hearing how people get so creative within the constructs of their skills that they're allowed to allot for. I know a little bit about D&D. I've played, but I'm not confident enough to go, oh, I know how to cleverly use this or that yet. So I'm
Right.
still a little bit in that learning early stages of it, even though I've played some version of it for years, decades at this point. So
Well,
yeah.
that's fun.
So definitely encourage it. I did have a question, though, to kind of come back to the librarian side of things. So the book was, what have you ever like suggested or recommended a book that has just been like your life changing or your just most impressionable book to an individual? Do you have any moment that you have ever had where somebody just went, "Oh, that was so amazing. Thank you for bringing that to me," or just one book that means so much to you that you feel everybody should read?
Well, I have one on the kid level and then one on adult level, I guess. I love telling kids to read Gordon Corman's Restart. If you're so he's coming to visit us in May, which was
Yay.
like a big that he's great because he's written over 100 books. He
Wow.
just is prolific. But Restart is about he's a high school football player, really cool, and mean spirited, like a popular kid. One night he is going out of his house, he's sneaking out, he falls off the roof. I don't know if he's hit into a coma. He lands in the hospital and loses his memory. So when he comes to, he's very nice and doesn't realize why people are intimidated by him, why people have like a certain reaction towards him. And the whole book is like, what if you had this restart? What if you got the opportunity at some point in your life for whatever reason to like do over? What would you do differently? And so kids love that book. It just creates like great conversation. And
Oh.
then my adult one is Let Them. Has
Ah,
Oh
anyone?
yeah.
yeah,
I
you got
just feel
Mel.
like I
Yeah,
just love.
Miss
It's like I
Robbins.
feel it's just lovely to you can't control a lot of things in life, and that is a scary thought.
Yeah.
But you do have control over your reaction, and I'm trying to learn how to do that better as I get older. But like I have a 16-year-old girl. Daughter and a 14-year-old daughter, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, can you stop talking about this book?" Because I just find it so.
Yeah, it's so true though. My book would be The Alchemist.
Oh,
I loved that one so much. It was, and I also love Let Them. But it was just like such a nice story about, you never kind of know what's out there for you. And so just keep living your truth and live authentically, be a good human.
Hmm.
that's
And
great.
mine is God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater from it's a Kurt Vonnegut. That is very similar in that altruism and essentially trying to put forth. I mean, it's the bumbling part of trying to put forth something, wonderful and like the intentions behind it and everything. So, and it's got one of my favorite quotes in it too. So,
Oh, what
um,
is it?
oh, uh,
I'm
let
calling you
let
out.
me like yeah, you are calling me out, but
Sorry.
it's like basically it's like the character is talking about like what he would say to new life, like babies, children that are born into, and he's like, he's talking about the world and how like brilliant and difficult it can be, and he ends it as like, but just be kind. Essentially, I've
Mm,
totally paraphrased it, and I'll link
it's
it up,
fine.
but it is literally one of my favorites. It's got language in it too, but it's like it's really one of those things that when I read it, I went, okay. I mean, it was
Yeah.
already part of the undertone of the whole book, but I really do, and it's a fast read. Like honestly, if people are like they can tear through it in a weekend, I guarantee it. But it
Yeah.
was yeah, it's one of those very profoundly impactful things that we carry with us. So you just always remember what your favorite book was. So um
Yeah.
I mean, the adult books, like your books that you read as an adult, sorry, I should preface to say, versus the most profound one that you read when you were growing up. Do you have one that really impressed upon you to kind of embrace this version of you that you are, the grabbing and going for it?
Um, I just remember Island of the Blue Dolphins because that was beautiful. And yeah, so the story was amazing. It touched me so much that I wrote to the author and I wrote this whole essay about how I thought what I thought about his childhood based on how he wrote. And I thought it was really he wrote back and I had offended him. So
Oh my God.
he wrote he I was like I always tried to be deep as like a little girl, like beyond. And so I wrote that I thought he had a tough childhood and I didn't know if he always had happiness in his childhood or something like that. And he wrote back and he was very polite and was like, I had a great childhood and like talked about, but I thought it was great because I was thinking, wow, like he created this awesome book and just like I loved the adventure of it and stuff. And I had a perspective and I was wrong. And that's awesome that, okay, we don't always know. And it's cool to talk to authors like storytellers. And so I love bringing authors in um, because they're just people writing stories. So,
Yes. That's
But
so
that's
true.
a testament to like reaching out and the courage. I mean, I say courage to reach out, but it's also not waiting for permission. So I think there's sometimes like I would have not thought to just go ahead and write an author. Like I'd be like, oh, well, there they are. Or maybe I've read so many older books that the author is no longer with us that I could not write the author, you know.
right.
But that to me is also a brilliant thing, like something that you felt moved to write and then learned something back that you made an assumption or at least the feelings that you were encouraged to feel at that point in time, and challenging even that is like it's really kind of part and parcel to what you kind of approach, how you approach life, so always opening up, kind of critical thought, opening and keeping an open mind about
Right.
what you first experience may not be the actual experience, so
Yes.
that's a great
And not
lesson.
feeling like those people are unattainable because they're authors, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is so cool. When I was a kid, I wrote to Brian Austin Green, and he wrote back with a signed postcard. Ooh.
Oh,
What? Do you still
mine
Yes,
have it?
Sarah was, no, of course not. Sarah was writing authors, and here I was writing 90210 star.
mine was Fred
That's
Savage
awesome.
from the Wonder Years.
Oh
Oh,
my
Oh, it was
gosh.
like
Did you write him? Did he send you
I
back a signed
did.
postcard?
No, I got nothing back in return. I mean, not anything against Fred Savage. I mean, I don't know the guy,
He
and
was busy.
but yeah, it was like, but there was an episode that really like touched me, and I was like, well, the way you treated her was so sweet, and I really feel like that girl, and I was like, oh my god, it was ridiculous. So
That is so
anyway.
sweet.
So, but
But
I
you
mean,
know
that's
what?
the encouragement though from Sarah's story is, hey, just write the letter, just write that letter,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I was
So-
just going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
Yeah, you just, no, it's so great. I love that when we share a brain. No,
Yeah.
but it's like,
We're like a yellow, the tabby cat, and like you get the brain cell right now. So, oh, the orange, yeah, orange.
You guys work well together.
well, thank you.
Aw.
We've known each other for like a gazillion years. Actually, now we could say decades. Isn't it weird
Yes.
that
Wow.
well, because we're all around the same age, but isn't it weird to say like, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years, or I've been,
Yes.
I've known this person for decades, plural.
What a privilege, though, to be able to say
I
that,
know.
right?
Totally.
Yeah.
What a
Oh.
privilege. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love getting
yeah.
older because that means I'm still here and
Yeah.
we can
Right.
still experience things. So I
Indeed.
love that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. I want to be mindful
Thank
of your
you.
time.
Mhm.
You're
But
very
this
sweet.
has been so much fun, and I can't wait for us to do something new again. You know what? Actually, here's a then one from me. Hold me
Okay.
to this, Sarah, and Serena's going to pester me about it. That's what she does, and I love it. I want to do this craft where I get like some thrifted teacups and like upcycling it to be something totally different.
Oh, love
If you're
it.
into that, I
Yeah.
want to be doing that. So
Okay.
yeah, cool. Let's do that
We can turn them into
together.
plant holders. We'll have to think.
Yeah, or there's
Mama,
like
Mama Juice
jewelry
again.
thing. Oh my gosh, Mama Juice. I had this like really ridiculously large wine glass that said Mama Juice on it, and it was kind of embarrassing. And so I made it a plant holder not too long ago. And so
But
I
now
was
that's
like
the
pivoting.
plant's name.
That's the plant's name now.
Perfect.
Right.
Horticulture
Uh,
name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So,
So
Sarah, I'm sad we only have such a short window with you, but I would love it if we could have some more time with you in the future. So I think there's so
Love
much
that.
more to tackle and everything, but we really do appreciate you coming on, sharing
Thank
your
you for
your
having me.
Oh, for sure. And
I'm going to
and
tell
we-
my podcasting club.
oh my gosh, it'll be
Yes,
so
I was-
exciting.
Yeah, and
They'll be
maybe they'll
excited.
have you on one of their shows that they're working on too. So, or maybe you'll have your own. So who knows?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
fun. Well,
Well,
thank you
thank
so
you very
much. We
much.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
You too, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, isn't she the best?
She is. I mean, I feel like I wanted to just ask so many more questions, but I was like, oh shoot, we do not have enough time.
No, Sarah is so wonderful. I love when my friends meet because I knew you were going to love her, and she is just such a gem in my life. And she's like the one that's like, "Hey, you want to meet up for coffee at 7 a.m.?" I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, 7 a.m. Okay,
But
I'll be there."
because it's you.
Totally. But
I'm with it.
I love that she doesn't, like she figures out what she wants to do and then she finds where that can fit into her schedule because really like we all live by some kind of schedule, right? And so I feel like, I usually don't meet friends before 9 o'clock or, in that kind of hour. But if that's how we can meet, then that's how we can meet. Or if we can hang out by, running a Girl Scout cookie booth, let's hang out that way. It's just all about being together and not like creating these ideal moments like, oh, we need to take a yoga class together. Oh, let's meet at this painting class or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I also love the idea of you just doing the mundane tasks together. Like, so sometimes I'll go out with, a couple folks around here and I'll be like, okay, it's a Costco run. Or
Yes.
it's like, hey, I just need to run to the post office. I mean, it is kind of the admin tasks of things. Like when you start and you reach out to people, you go, okay, I just need like a body double day or an admin day where we just run and do the things that are just kind of the most mundane. But when you're doing it with your friends, it just tends to get a lot more fun,
Yes.
So,
And I've never done that before, but I started doing it recently and it is way more fun.
Yeah.
just to
Well,
have someone to chat with.
for real. So, but let me ask you, kind of, if we think like in the Wayback Machines of when we were teens, early 20s, right? Let's think
Mhm.
about that. Like when we got together with our friends, what were we doing? You know, there
Yeah,
was a lot of it that we were also doing some of those mundane things. And I think like we start as we age, kind of feeling like we're only to be doing that and then only to be having fun or being in that fun state when we are with our people, right?
yeah,
So like we go, oh, now I have to go run these errands, do some chores. But we used to do that with each other when we were younger. Like
true.
it wasn't like we actively decided we were like, hey, I'm just gonna come hang out. That was
Yeah,
easy enough. But hanging out meant you're doing all of that kind of crap together, you know?
totally.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go do what we need to get done. Like I don't know how many times you had. I know you had a built-in because you had like your sister, right? You guys shared a room.
Well, we were
So like
so
if you
far
had to,
apart in age, but yeah,
yeah, but if you had to clean your room, right? If you had to keep it tidy
yeah.
or whatever, did you have to do that coordinate together or like you had your side of the room, she had her side of the room?
Honestly, I can't even remember. It was so long.
I know. Like I'm scratching the
I
gray
do
walls. I'm like,
remember always being told I had to clean my room. I mean, that's
yeah.
what ADHD is, right?
Yeah,
It's
true.
like, from a young age, my sister and I were not organized people, but I
Yeah, well,
learned
if
to be
there's
more
any
organized
indication,
when
there's the
I was in
controlled chaos
college.
behind me. Yeah.
I
Oh,
know,
where?
totally. Well, because in college, like when you live in the same room, that's like your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen-ish, like it can't really be that messy because one, you're there with somebody else, and two, there's not that much space.
Hmm.
So college helped me to kind of like be more organized and work on those skills a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
dial it in.
yeah, no, you're right. Like we used to do that kind of stuff all the time, right? Like hang out with our friends while we were doing nothing or while we had to go do whatever. And I think like as we create kind of our units as we get older, I don't know. Maybe it's just seen as like we don't do these things outside of our units because we're there to have fun and hang out. But you're right. Like, who cares if you go to Costco together or, do some kind of errands together, even going to the grocery store. Yeah, I have this friend who our
The
kids are
grocery store
friends.
again.
What's that?
I said, "There's your grocery store." It's
Oh,
been a minute since we've
I
mentioned
love
the
a
grocery
grocery
store.
store. I'm there too much.
I mean,
But I mean,
you got to get
people
groceries.
gotta eat.
How many
You
times
know
have we
me,
like
I'm
tried to get
forever
groceries?
cooking.
Mm, mm.
But I have this friend who invites us over, for the kids to play and then we hang out. But like, it's not like we like sit there staring at each other, across the table hanging out. Like, a lot of times she's like, cleaning our kitchen, unloading the dishwasher, like normal things that we all have to do in a given day.
Hmm.
And we just sit there and hang out together. And I kind of love it. It like brings me back to, like you said, just like hanging out with your friends and doing something and nothing, and not having to have like this thing that we're
The
doing
outcome.
specifically.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
outcome is the connection. Like I think that's really what it is. And it like
Yeah.
tie it into the books. I've got like the thing and not necessarily library. You could do this at a library too. And I encourage going to a library.
I love local
Um,
libraries.
oh my gosh, I love
Library
the smell
nerd.
of libraries. I'll just go in.
Oh,
I'm
me
like,
too.
I love a good library smell. But like,
Yes.
going in kind of like with a little scavenger hunt for the books, and then you kind of go, okay, find an author that has the same initials as me or as the other person. So
Ooh,
you
that's
kind of have
fun.
like list. I will throw it in together. I've got a little like scavenger hunt for books, like either at a library or a bookstore for people who want to get together with their friends or a new person and like learn about them. This is a great first date, by the way, too. By the way, everybody. So if you want
I
to throw
love
that out there,
that. All right, I
um,
gotta check that out. Link in the show notes.
yeah, yeah. It's just a way to basically go and explore your books, like the bookstore or your library, and and maybe get some kind of like exposure to something new that you didn't know about. Like, and then kind of you each kind of take your list and you disperse, and you have like a 30-minute window or whatever you want to, give to it. And then you come back together and then you discuss it. And so you're like, it's great for like
That's so
any
fun.
bookstore that's got like a coffee nook in it. And so you can grab the coffee and so, or tea or whatever beverage of choice you like.
Hot
And
chocolate.
then yeah, hot chocolate. But I was like, I like Mary's like, okay, now we're gonna tell you how to make some hot chocolate. This is like the instructional part of our podcast.
That's a different
again.
podcast.
Yeah, we keep on going. Hey, we are going to have a little snippet. I see this is gonna be the Patreon content.
Definitely for Patreon.
for real. But but it's really brilliant to sit across from somebody to see through their eyes like how they interpreted the same information, and without it being so polarizing. Essentially, like this is something where it's a little bit more creative, a little bit more exploratory to have that connection.
Yeah, totally. And that's what
yeah.
it's all about, right? Like, why do we go bowling? Why do we go to the movies? Why do we go to these like regular things, with our friends? It's not, I mean, sure, maybe it's for the movie and it's so fun. Maybe you're trying to get better at bowling. So great. And really, ultimately, it's the connection with the people that you're with. That's why we're doing these things. And so, it doesn't have to be this specific thing, right? That has been like a social norm. It could just be going to the grocery store with your friend
And then
or
learning a new
meeting for.
recipe or like making fun of all.
Yes.
Or we'll go to one of those stores that has just like a whole mishmash of things, and then we'll go, hey, did I'm looking for this completely absurd like definition or description of something, and somebody goes, oh, you mean this right here, and it happens to be exactly what that person was describing, so it's kind
That's
of fun.
awesome.
But
Or you know what I want to do with you next time we're together? And I have like, of course, a whole list, but we always are so like locked into what we're doing. I want to do that thing that I saw online where it's like you hold up a photo or you hold up like the product and then your friend matches it. So if it's like a pantyhose thing, you hold up the pantyhose package and the person like makes a funny face, or if it's like that thing I
where
sent
the
you.
actual branding ends on the package itself, and if it's like cut off, then your partner does whatever to complete it on the other side.
Yes,
Oh,
that's a
that
much better
sounds so
description.
fun. You know
Yes,
what? We
it
could
is,
do that with
right?
books too. So I'm just keeping it on content.
Ooh,
here,
tell
but
me,
still,
how could we do it with
covers.
books? Ooh, book covers, yeah, true.
Not everybody has like the old like romance covers where everybody's like
Where
sweeping
Fabio
pictures
and his long hair
Oh
is
my
there,
gosh,
his
Fabio.
chiseled body.
I remember when he got hit in the face with a bird, and it was like everybody's like, "No, his face is moneymaker." I was like, "Oh boy,"
In real life or in a book?
No, in real life, yeah. I
Oh
think he got
gosh.
hit. Like I forgot what it was like, maybe a boating thing. I don't know.
Wow,
Everybody,
that's
I'll link to the article in the show notes
about Fabio.
Yeah, like half of our audience is like, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and the other half is like,
Who's
"Who is
Fabio?
Fabio?"
What's a book? No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
oh,
I know, don't
so
say it. I love books. I love bookshops, libraries. I love used bookstores. Oh,
mm,
it's just so fun to like find little treasures around. And,
yeah.
sometimes I read the book, but sometimes oh God, I don't even want to admit this. Sometimes I upcycle the book and make it into
Mm.
something new. And something like my book heart is like, why would you do that? But also my creative spirit is like, this is amazing,
Like,
so I know.
yeah, I think like the what would be fun when we get Sarah back on, because I think that we barely scratched the surface on her, and I really think
Yeah.
like, especially from your take on her of her just kind of going out and like learning new things. I love their teacher group that's doing all of the
Oh,
like bringing their talents forward and teaching each other. Oh,
it's
that makes my heart
so
so happy.
beautiful. And you know
Yeah.
what? In the kids' performances, because there's like, a performance every year, the teachers join with them. It is so beautiful. That
Very
community, I mean, I won't put it out there, but shout out to that community. They are amazing. They're beautiful human beings, and they're creating this amazing community, and it trickles down to from the adults to the students, and I bet you the students to the adults, and that's what it's about. I feel like sometimes as we get older and, sometimes more locked into what we're doing in our life, we lose that beautiful childlike whimsy, curiosity, and spirit. And I love being around that, and it jazzes me up. In fact, I was at a preschool the other day, and this woman was like playing with these kids. These kids were like all over her. They were giving her so much energy. She was matching their energy, and she was
Oh, I
older
love
than
it.
me. And I said to her, I was like, wow, you have so much energy for this. And she said, she goes, they give me this energy. And it was just such a beautiful moment of like, yeah, duh. Like, I don't just need coffee or tea to fuel my energy.
Hmm.
That energy feeds off of other people, and it's kind of what you make of it, right? If I had that mindset of like, oh, these kids are being so annoying, blah, blah, blah. No, she didn't. She was like, I'm going to just jump right in. And it was so beautiful to be around.
What a gift too, a special like bilateral gift. I think like when you think about when some kids are kind of taught that these adults are unapproachable, right? Like there's like a
Hmm.
barrier that they're only to be learned from, or there's this like I was saying, like I never thought to write an author like that, like I didn't think
Right.
that was allowed.
Yeah.
and,
Just Fred
and
Savage.
yeah, just because he was my ish age,
Hmm.
but yeah, and it's not like my parents ever instilled that in me. I don't know where I got that from. So I don't know. I'll have to like dive into that. But it was one of those things that it was just this barrier. Like they were adults, you were kids. Like you had to kind of
Yeah.
keep your space. I think that was kind of based off of our feral nature. Like we were allowed to just run and be and go out and do. And it wasn't like we had to check in all the time. So I think there
Yeah.
was more independence that kind of came from it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
s
also like a product of our generation, like
mhm, mhm.
our parents uh were boomers, right? And so I think they kind of grew up with the mindset of kids are seen and not heard, right? Kind
Mhm,
of like,
mhm.
don't bother me. I'm the adult. You're the kid. Go do something
Yeah.
else. And
And I
so
think some
not
of
that
that
we were
we might have
raised.
saw that in media too, right? Like so that might have
Yeah,
impressed upon
totally.
us too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and not that we were raised where our parents didn't do anything with us, right? But
Right.
that I think like with each generation it chips away at those old notions. And
Mhm.
nowadays, and obviously I can only speak from my own experience, but like nowadays being a parent is so different than when I was a kid even. And even though I did have involved parents, like it I don't know, parents these days I feel like are so much more like jumping in with their kids and doing things with their kids, and it's not like, "Oh, don't bother me. I'm an adult and you're a child."
And I want to say something to this because I saw this in you when I came to visit, and I thought it was, I just was so excited to see that. Is that you and your youngest decided that you wanted to add some whimsy to your household, and you both engaged in it, and you were both
Yeah.
connected with it, and I could see, like, I think you shared a video, and it was really so sweet to see how just flourishing and into it that your youngest was, and how much you were encouraging and you were encouraged by it. And so and it was fun for me to kind of go and find where the whimsy was, and
Oh,
painted in the household. And those
yeah,
things are so important, and those I think are like core memories that are going to lock in and be like, you know
totally.
what, mom let me paint on the light switch, and
Yeah.
that you are doing that,
Yeah,
you are
totally.
embracing that, and you are encouraging that curiosity and creativity and boundlessness. And it's beautiful to watch in action. I love seeing my
Oh,
friends who really just embrace letting kids just experience and explore and all of that, and you embody that, and it
thank
is
you.
beautiful to watch. So
Thank you. And
um
you know what? You were the catalyst to all that.
I
So
could be
it's
your
it's a full circle moment for us here because you were visiting and I was like, your house has so much whimsy. I have to add some whimsy to my house. And I enlisted my youngest to help me with that. And she I mean, her head almost exploded when I was like, hey, you want to paint on the walls? And she was like, what?
She was
You know?
glowing, like vibrating, glowing
She
in
was.
that video. I was like, she is so in
Yeah.
her element. She's in love with this idea. And if that is not what we can inspire in each other, is to get those glow moments to go, you know, or fan the little flame that's inside of each other. I think that is like really the purpose of life, is to just be in service of each other and to witness each other and to lift each other. And I know it's not always possible, because sometimes we're the ones in need of lifting, and it's hard to ask for that, you know, but that's like, and to kind of come back to what Sara has done too, is her sponsoring those clubs. That's huge, to have an adult like vouch for you, you know, as a kid.
Totally.
To go, I see your expression here, and I want to boost it. I want to give you a space where you can have that.
Yeah.
And also, she's learning from them, and that's the big thing. And I want to encourage that with our community, is that we might have had a lot of experience, you and I, or anybody else of our age and beyond, right? We all have had certain experiences, but that doesn't mean we know everything about the whole silo, the whole up and down and left and right of it, or front and back. I mean, all directionals, you know, of those things. So how wonderful will it be for us to have those shared moments over generations, you know, up and down, where we can share that and share the curiosity and the wonder. And I'm going to, like, I'm still, my grocery store story is still on the teaser list. I really want to spend a moment with that. And I know you have probably something very similar, or something that's inspirational to you. Like, you brought Sara to us. That's somebody who's inspired you in that kind of regard too.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's something to look forward in one of our coming up episodes, is that we're going to talk about the people or the instance that shook you, that took you out of your hypnosis and went, oh, I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
So
Well, that is so beautiful. What a beautiful way to wrap up today's episode. Get it, girl. Look at you. No, but I love that. So check that out on a future episode. These little moments in grocery stores or in other locations that are just those moments, to take you out of whatever space you're in and really open you up to life happening all around you. I know that resonates for me so much.
Oh,
thank you guys so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Check out our previous episodes. Hit us up on our Discord and find us on Patreon very soon.
Very soon, about to launch. So thank you, everyone. All right. Until when?
Until when?
So today we got to talk to our favorite local librarian, to Mary, and we got to share a little bit of the books that have inspired us and those that we want to share with the rest of you.
Yes. So we're curious about what books you guys have inspired you guys and what you want to share with us and the community. Hit us up on Discord in the book topic and throw some books there. And who knows, maybe they'll inspire other people as well.
Yeah, we would love to know like the quotes or the aha moments for those books. I mean, anything from when you were growing up to those that have made such an impact to you now. So please, as Mary said, let's go to the Discord, everybody. Get it lively.
Yes, I'm going to throw some books up there because, you know, I love books. Some fun books, some short books. It doesn't have to be long, prolific books, you know. If War and Peace was, jinx. If War and Peace was inspiring to you, so be it. But it doesn't have to be a large text to inspire you. In fact, you know, Serena, that episode where you shared the article about love,
yes,
that inspired me so much. And so it can be anything, really. A poem, a quote, something. Just put it out there. We're here to spread goodness and love and curiosity and whimsy.
For sure. And I would also love, because there's some times where I read a book back in the day and I wasn't ready to receive the message. So I would love to hear a book that you gave a second chance to and has made that impact as well. So,
Oh, that's such a great idea. I'm going to think on that now.
absolutely.
I like
So
it.
thank you all again for sticking with us and listening, watching this episode. We definitely want to hear from you.
Yes, hit us up on Discord or give us a call on our line and leave us a voicemail, and let's get some community interaction here. You guys are just a part of this community as we are, and we are so happy that you are here.